Life, with its seemingly comfortable routine, often surprises us with moments of restlessness, subtle signs that something needs to change. This feeling of dissatisfaction is not just a passing discomfort, it is a call to break with patterns that no longer serve and make space for personal transformation. On this new path, the comfort of the known gives way to challenges that, although uncertain, bring the opportunity for discovery and growth. Instead of clinging to familiar habits, we are invited to rethink our path with courage and faith. Trust in God, understood here not just as belief, but as the certainty that each step, even the hesitant ones, directs us towards a greater purpose, becomes the foundation for renewal. On this journey, touches of humor, practical examples, and inspiring stories intertwine to show that true transformation happens when we accept discomfort as a sign of evolution. By leaving behind what no longer defines us, we make space for a fresh start based on obedience, self-confidence, and faith that drives us to seek a full life full of meaning. Get ready to dive into a narrative that challenges the status quo, inviting you to transform uncertainties into opportunities and see the unknown as fertile ground for your rebirth. In many moments, a slight restlessness infiltrates our routine, awakening a perception that something needs to be transformed. This feeling, although subtle, is an invitation to look beyond the familiar and recognize that growth requires change. By identifying this inner spark, we realize that apparent comfort can hide a stagnation that prevents new possibilities from blossoming. By observing small signs of recurring thought, a feeling of loss, or even an inexplicable desire to start over, we are led to question habits that, although safe, no longer contribute to our development. This perception acts as a warning, encouraging us to abandon patterns that limit our potential and seek renewal that is based on faith and self-confidence. Recognizing the need for change is not just identifying discomfort, but understanding that it is a natural part of the evolution process. Every little doubt or concern can be interpreted as a sign that we are ready to break with what no longer serves us, making room for a new chapter. This awareness strengthens our trust in God, reinforcing that each step towards the unknown is guided by a greater purpose. Thus, the journey of self-knowledge begins when we allow ourselves to listen to this inner voice. By recognizing the need for transformation, we take the first step to abandon old habits and rethink our relationships and choices. This decision is an act of courage that is based on the belief that true freedom and personal growth are within the reach of those who are willing to face discomfort and embrace the new. At a decisive moment in life, we must recognize that the comfort of the known can become a trap that impedes our progress. Detachment from the familiar does not mean rejecting our lived history, but rather freeing ourselves from habits and relationships that no longer contribute to our growth. This choice is an act of courage that opens space for new experiences and the flowering of a more authentic purpose. By letting go of old patterns, we allow transformation to take place. Each gesture of detachment, whether by modifying a routine, rethinking relationships, or even challenging deep-rooted beliefs, brings us closer to a future where the new imposes itself clearly. This liberation from the past is based on trust in God and the conviction that, by letting go of what no longer serves us, we gain the possibility of reinventing ourselves. The detachment process requires self-knowledge and determination to recognize when something has become an obstacle to personal evolution. By releasing the bonds of the familiar, we transform discomfort into a tool for self-development, allowing each negative experience to be converted into learning and renewal. Thus, detachment becomes not an end, but the beginning of a journey full of opportunities and a new sense of freedom. Experiencing detachment is also learning to value change as a necessary constant. Each step towards something new reinforces the faith and conviction that, with courage and trust in God, we can reinvent our lives. This decision, however challenging it may be, marks the opening of a path where authenticity and personal evolution become the true measures of success. When we place our trust in God, we find guidance that transcends the visible. This faith is not limited to an abstract belief, but manifests itself in the certainty that each step, even those filled with uncertainty, is guided by a greater purpose. By trusting divine guidance, we transform moments of doubt into opportunities for growth, realizing that the true path reveals itself as we surrender to the unknown. Accepting God's guidance is recognizing that, even in the face of challenges, there is always a safe route to transformation. This surrender strengthens our conviction that letting go of the past and being open to the new are essential for our development. With each decision made with faith, we realize that obedience to the divine will lead us to enriching experiences full of learning. Trusting God means allowing His light to illuminate the corners of our uncertainties, showing that each challenge is part of the plan for our evolution. This confidence transforms discomfort into an incentive to seek new possibilities, where fear gives way to hope and courage. Thus, faith becomes the driving force that drives us forward, even when the path seems cloudy. By accepting God's direction, we learn that each stage of the journey, no matter how challenging it may be, carries an essential lesson for our growth. This belief allows us to see beyond immediate obstacles, valuing each small advance as a victory towards transformation. The certainty that we are being guided by a divine purpose encourages us to face the unknown with determination and serenity. Obeying the divine call is an act of surrender that drives us to break with the familiar and embrace the new. This response, made with faith and courage, is not simply following orders, but rather recognizing that each gesture of obedience directs us towards a future full of meaning. By responding to this invitation, we transform the initial discomfort into an engine of change, reaffirming the conviction that divine purpose guides each step of our journey. The practice of obedience is revealed in the willingness to leave behind habits and bonds that no longer contribute to our growth. When we choose to follow the calling, faith translates into concrete attitudes, whether through changing routines, adopting new behaviors, or the simple act of reevaluating our priorities. This commitment to transformation strengthens our relationship with God, showing that each decision, no matter how small it may seem, contributes to the achievement of a greater purpose. Responding to the divine call also implies courage to face the unknown, where discomfort becomes a sign that we are on the right path. Each step taken with obedience represents a break with the past and a leap towards renewal. This journey is not devoid of challenges, but it is precisely through them that we discover our true capacity for transformation and spiritual evolution. By cultivating a routine of obedience and faith, we learn to value the small moments that, together, build a path of liberation. The constant practice of following the divine calling not only strengthens our confidence, but also teaches us to turn every obstacle into an opportunity to grow. Thus, obedience becomes a link between our faith and the realization of a new path, where change is embraced as a chance to reinvent ourselves and find deep meaning in each action. Discomfort appears as a subtle messenger, indicating that the status quo is no longer sufficient for our development. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, we can see it as an alert that drives us to seek change. This feeling, however uncomfortable it may be, invites us to question habits and routines that, although familiar, no longer promote our growth. Each experience of discomfort reminds us that the apparent security of the known can hide limitations. By recognizing this feeling, we are motivated to let go of old patterns and explore new possibilities. It is in this state of tension that faith and trust in God become fundamental, offering the necessary courage to transform discomfort into an opportunity for evolution. Facing discomfort is, in fact, embracing the process of transformation. When we stop running away from moments of uncertainty, we make room for personal innovation and inner renewal. This acceptance of discomfort allows us to see each challenge as a step towards a new beginning, where overcoming difficulties strengthens our determination and resilience. The role of discomfort becomes even more evident when we realize that it is the catalyst for change. Instead of being seen as a barrier, it becomes an instrument that pushes us to leave our comfort zone. This transformation, driven by the recognition of our limitations, reaffirms the importance of obedience to the divine call and the constant search for spiritual and personal evolution. By transforming discomfort into learning, we develop a new perspective on life. Each moment of tension reveals itself as an opportunity to grow, mature, and reevaluate our priorities. In this way, discomfort not only announces the need for change, but also becomes the fuel that fuels our journey towards achieving a higher purpose. Thus, embracing discomfort is recognizing that, to move forward, we need to be willing to face challenges and uncertainties. This stance teaches us to value each obstacle as a lesson and to transform adversity into motivation for evolution. With faith and trust in God, each experience of discomfort becomes a firm step towards authentic and lasting transformation. Releasing the past is an essential gesture of detachment that prepares us to welcome the new. By leaving behind memories and habits that no longer serve our growth, we make room for inner transformation. This release is not an act of forgetting, but a conscious choice to transform past experiences into learning, allowing faith and trust in God to renew our spirit. The process of letting go of the old teaches us to value the present and build a future more aligned with our purpose. Each memory we leave behind represents an opportunity to be reborn, freeing us from the ties that can bind us to patterns that no longer contribute to our evolution. This attitude, based on courage and self-confidence, is based on the certainty that change is a path to freedom. By releasing the past, we transform pain and mistakes into stepping stones to growth. This practice invites us to look back with gratitude for the lessons learned, but without allowing these experiences to define our future. Detachment strengthens our relationship with God, who guides us towards a new horizon full of possibilities and spiritual renewal. Each act of liberation from the old is a step towards rebuilding our identity. By abandoning patterns that no longer reflect our essence, we pave the way for a more authentic and meaningful life. This decision, although challenging, reveals itself as a powerful instrument of transformation, where the past stops being a burden and becomes a solid foundation for learning and resilience. The importance of releasing the past also manifests itself in the ability to forgive and reinvent oneself. When we let go of painful experiences, we allow the light of faith to illuminate our new paths. This release creates an environment conducive to the emergence of new dreams, where each action is guided by a greater purpose and renewed trust in God. Therefore, letting go of the past is not an end, but the beginning of a journey of self-knowledge and transformation. With each memory left behind, we become stronger to embrace the unknown and build a lighter path full of meaning. The release of the old thus becomes a catalyst for renewal, encouraging us to live more authentically and to continually seek spiritual and personal evolution. Abraham stands out as a timeless example of faith and courage. Leaving behind everything familiar, he embraced an uncertain path, but one guided by a deep conviction. His journey teaches that true growth comes when we place our trust in God and accept the challenge of detachment, transforming each obstacle into an opportunity to evolve. Moses, in leading his people towards freedom, exemplifies the strength of detachment and obedience. Facing countless challenges, he demonstrated that following the divine calling requires courage to break with the past and establish new paradigms. His trajectory inspires transformation, showing that true liberation happens when we dare to leave our comfort zone. Pedro, with his imperfection and resilience, illustrates how it is possible to start over even after falls and doubts. By responding to Jesus' call, he left fears and insecurities behind, transforming each failure into learning. His example reinforces that personal transformation is built with steps of faith and the willingness to continually reinvent oneself. Jonas, despite his initial reluctance, ends up revealing profound lessons about the importance of facing our fears. His resistance to the divine call and, later, his acceptance demonstrate that it is never too late to change direction. Jonah's story invites us to reflect on how discomfort can transform into learning and the renewal of our purposes. These biblical examples, with their unique stories, show that faith and a willingness to let go are fundamental for transformation. By abandoning what no longer serves, each character teaches us that true purpose reveals itself when we are willing to trust and follow a path of change, even if it requires courage to break with the past. Reflecting on the lives of Abraham, Moses, Peter, and Jonah is recognizing that the journey of faith is full of challenges and achievements. Their examples serve as a beacon for those who wish to follow a path of renewal, demonstrating that obedience to the divine call and detachment from the familiar are the keys to a deep and lasting transformation. Uncertainty appears as an indispensable companion on the path of transformation. When the contours of life become hazy, we are challenged to embrace the unknown with courage. This condition should not be seen as weakness, but as fertile ground for growth, where faith manifests and the potential for significant change reveals itself. Facing uncertainty requires a posture of trust both in yourself and in divine direction. Every decision made, even without immediate guarantees, reinforces that letting go of the past is necessary so that we can build a future that is more aligned with our purpose. This surrender to unpredictability drives us to seek new opportunities, transforming doubts into catalysts for personal evolution. At the heart of uncertainty, we find the possibility of rediscovering our essence. By abandoning the security of known habits, we allow faith to take hold and guide us. This process of renewal teaches us that transformation does not depend on previous certainties, but rather on the courage to move forward even when the destination remains uncertain. Each challenge faced in the midst of uncertainty becomes valuable learning. The discomfort we feel when leaving our comfort zone becomes an indicator that we are following a new path. This experience reinforces the importance of keeping an open mind and a willing heart, allowing obedience to the divine call to illuminate our steps. Transforming uncertainty into opportunity is a continuous exercise in faith and resilience. By recognizing that the unknown can be full of possibilities, we learn to see each setback as a boost for personal reinvention. This perspective invites us to trust the process and value each moment of doubt as an essential part of the journey toward achievement. Thus, living with uncertainty is, first of all, accepting that the path to transformation is not linear. Each step, even those permeated by doubts, strengthens our determination and reaffirms that true evolution arises when we embrace the flow of life. With faith as a guide and the courage to face the unknown, uncertainty becomes the gateway to full and meaningful renewal. Apparent comfort often hides subtle traps that prevent us from growing. Familiarity with what is known can create a false sense of security, leading us to believe we are protected, when in fact we remain stagnant. When we see this illusion, we realize that the ease of everyday life can be an obstacle to true transformation. The feeling of security that comfort offers often masks the fear of facing challenges and leaving our comfort zone, limiting our potential for evolution. Unraveling the illusion of comfort requires courage to question ingrained habits and to recognize that stability can, paradoxically, be a prison. When we choose to break away from the familiar, we open space for new experiences and discoveries, enabling personal growth. Each act of detachment from what is illusorily safe reinforces the importance of seeking a life based on authenticity and the constant search for evolution. By abandoning false security, we value the challenges that drive change and transformation. This shift in perspective is grounded in faith and trust that true comfort lies in the journey of reinventing yourself. Breaking with the known allows obedience to the divine call to illuminate new paths, revealing possibilities previously hidden by routine. Therefore, recognizing the illusion of comfort is an invitation to live authentically. By choosing detachment and embracing the unknown, we transform the search for security into an opportunity to grow, innovate, and achieve full freedom, guided by faith and the courage to change. Taking the first step is turning faith into action. When we move, even in the face of the unknown, each gesture of courage becomes an investment in building a new path. This attitude does not depend on guarantees, but on the confidence that, by abandoning the familiar, we make room for growth and the realization of a greater purpose. Every decision of faith is marked by a commitment to transformation. By reorganizing our routine, adopting new habits, and constantly seeking spiritual renewal, we demonstrate that true change is the result of small, determined steps. Action, even if modest, is the seed of continuous transformation. Acting with purpose means converting challenges into opportunities. By facing discomfort and fear of the unknown, we develop resilience and discover new possibilities for our lives. This journey of faith and obedience is reflected in each choice, revealing that transformation is built day after day. The drive for change intensifies when we move from reflection to practice. Whether through a new routine, engaging in activities that broaden our horizons, or seeking inspiration from faith communities, each action strengthens our conviction that the path to transformation is paved by steps of courage. In short, every gesture, every decision made with faith brings us closer to a fuller and more meaningful life. By transforming plans into reality, we reinforce the idea that obedience to the divine call and letting go of what no longer serves are fundamental to liberation and self-knowledge. Thus, conscious action becomes the link that unites our dreams with the realization of a future full of possibilities. Therefore, living faith means acting even in the face of uncertainty with determination and resilience. Each step taken with courage and commitment not only lights the path to personal transformation, but also inspires those around us to pursue a life of purpose and renewal. With each action, we reaffirm our trust in God and our ability to create a future that reflects the true essence of change. As you go through each stage of this journey, you are invited to reflect on your own journey and recognize that true transformation comes when we are willing to let go of what no longer serves us. Every sign of discomfort, every act of detachment, reveals that renewal is always within our reach when we surrender to faith and trust in divine direction. This narrative is not just an invitation to change, but a call to transform uncertainties into opportunities for growth. Now, the question is, are you ready to leave behind illusory comfort and take the first step towards a new reality? The journey we begin here is the beginning of a profound change, where obedience to the divine calling and the courage to reinvent oneself come together to create a future filled with purpose. Reflect, act, and engage in this path of renewal, transforming each challenge into an opportunity to become the best version of yourself.